English mode activated. Conducting test phrase, good day mate. Test completed. No issues to report.
Hi. Alright, I'm ready for a new English YouTube video. I'm really excited and a bit nervous. I don't know, it makes me all nervous, although I'm just sitting here alone by myself. Alright, this is another video about the NSPanel project that I've been doing for a couple of months. I've been pulling my hair for the last 2 months, and I've created something that I absolutely love, and therefore I just want to share it with as many as possible. So that's what I'm doing. I've made one video, and I would just like to thank you for all the nice comments that I got on that one. That makes me really happy, and it makes me want to do more. That video was not that thought through, and it was mostly a call for help about that issue that I was talking about. Good thing now is that the issue that I had is solved. There's no longer an issue, so therefore I've been able to finish kind of the foundation of this project, the foundation of my dream wall switch, and now I want to show that to you. I want to show you everything. Short about the issue that I was talking about in the last episode. It had to do with MQTT and retained messages. I used retained messages on the MQTT broker, which means that all the states of all the items on the MQTT broker are saved, and when a new MQTT client connects, the MQTT broker pushes out all these messages on all topics that has the retained messages. And so that was what happened when I started the NSPanel. It initializes all the MQTT components, connects to the MQTT broker, and then the MQTT broker just floods it with all these state messages on all topics. And I think it just couldn't handle that, and at the same time there's a lot of code that is supposed to execute on each component that receives an MQTT message in the ESPHome YAML file. I had some thoughts about this being a memory issue, that I had put too much components into the YAML file in ESPHome. I don't think that's the case anymore. I think the main issue was the MQTT retained messages. There's still a limit on how much you can put in the YAML file, of course, how many components you can put there before you get an issue with this thing. But for now, I've made a good foundation. I can do everything I want to. I've also learned how to use components in the YAML file in a more resource efficient way. So I'm using a lot less components now than I did before. Enough about the issue. There is no issue. Let's talk about the future. What's the plan now? The plan is to create a couple of episodes. This is the first one. I call it the inspirational episode, where I want to show you everything this NSPanel project can do right now, all the features. And it's supposed to give you an idea about what is possible using NSPanel with ESPHome, and hopefully inspire you to want to create your own dream wall switch. Short about the how it works episode. So this episode will show you everything this project can do. The how it works episodes will give you an answer on all of the things that you see in this episode, how it's done. So we're going to talk about flashing real quick. Just want to give you some advice on flashing. I've done it 1,000 times because I've been having a lot of issues where the panel crashes and I have to reflash it. We're going to talk about ESPHome and the YAML file, how that works. We're going to look at all the code that I have in the YAML file and all the components that I've set up there. We're going to talk about the NextGen editor software, which is a software for creating HMI files for NextGen displays. The NSPanel has a NextGen display, so we're going to talk about that software. I'm going to walk you through it, teach you all the things that I've learned using that program. It's a graphical program where you basically put out the buttons where you want them on the display. You create pages, you decide what will happen when you press a button, and so on. Everything you see on the NSPanel is created in the NextGen editor software. And naturally, we need to talk about the YAML file and the TFT file and how those work together. So the TFT file is the file that the NextGen editor puts out, and that file is uploaded on the next-gen display. So the next-gen display has some kind of memory where you put the TFT file. That's how it works. And then there's some kind of ESP card in here somewhere as well where you put the YAML file. And those two, they have a connection between each other. MQTT, we need to talk about that as well. That's my solution to this project, to kind of transfer commands from the NSPanel to the home automation server. For you that uses Home Assistant, there's another solution in ESPHome. There's some kind of native ESP or Home Assistant API that you can use. Maybe that's a better thing. It seems pretty nice, but you could also use MQTT. But anyways, you will get the concept is the same. That's the plan. Hopefully, you will get some NSPanels, get going, creating your own dream wall switch. I just want to say that it's so much fun using ESPHome, the next-gen editor, creating your own graphical user interface, and it's so satisfying doing that, pressing a button, and stuff happens in your apartment. It's amazing. So should we stop talking and get inspired? Yeah, let's do it. Okay, let's enter inspiration mode. Okay, I'm ready. Let's boot it up. Boom. First thing here, a boot up screen. Totally unnecessary. You don't need that, but it's cool. So I have that, and as you can see, I'm a big OpenHAB fan. So I have my the OpenHAB logo on my boot up screen. When you boot it up like that, the states of all the components are empty. So there's kind of no data in the NSPanel from the beginning. So what I just did was to push out some states. So now there's it knows all the current states of all the items in the apartment. We're seeing the first page. A couple of thoughts about why I designed it in the way I did. When I started the project, I was thinking a lot about this new modern wall switch. What are you supposed to do with it? And I was thinking about what are we actually replacing? We're replacing our old wall switches. What did you do with them? With those? You controlled ceiling lights. And I think that if you replace them, your family and your friends, if you have a family, if you have friends, they would probably expect the new modern wall switch to control ceiling lights as well. Maybe as easy as they control the ceiling lights before. So that was my main thought. The main functionality should still be control of lights. I think our families and friends would think it would be a bit weird if we replaced all our old wall switches, replaced them with this new modern thing, and the first page had weather, temperature, a cool picture on it. I think they would think like, where did my ceiling light buttons go? I'm seeing the current temperature and current weather and a cool picture on all the wall switches in the entire house. I just want to control the lights. Okay, so it's just my personal opinion. I think it's a bit weird replacing a light button with weather. But that's just me. So that's why I've designed it the way I did. Looking at the display then, I would say that the old functionality of controlling ceiling lights is right here. Pressing that one will turn the ceiling lights off in that room we're in. Pressing again turns them on. So that's basically what we could do with our old wall switches. The good thing with the NSPanel is that it lets us do so much more. It gives us a lot of bonus features, which this movie is about. I'm going to show you everything now. Okay. Ceiling lights. And what's this then? It's the table lights. I mean, we've never been able to control table lights with our wall switches. But that's one of the best things with the smart home and with the smart light bulbs, that we can control all the lights in the entire home. But with the NSPanel, we can use our old spot where the wall switch were to control our table lights as well. That's amazing. I mean, no one can say anything else than that, okay? So the same thing, pressing that one will kill all the table lights in that room, pressing again, turning all the table lights on. This one controls the global brightness setting. So changing this will have an effect on all the lights that are currently on. Very good thing. I use these more than I use these functionalities. So most of the time when I want to change lighting, I want to change brightness on all the lights that are currently on. I don't want to change just one light or that one. You want to have all the lights in the same brightness setting. That's how I want it. Here's a global Kelvin setting, also one of the best things with the smart home, being able to control the lights from white to warm yellow. And I like doing that in a global way. So changing this one has an effect on all the lights that are currently on. I don't see a purpose of having one light 50% and one light 100%. It's weird. I hate it when I see that there are different Kelvin scales on the lights. So yeah, let's boost that up. Oh, I think we just found a bug here. So apparently when it's 0, it doesn't go up because I've done that on this. Okay, so Google öka värme till 10%.
Visst,
right.
Justera ljusstyrkan på värme till 10%.
Yeah, I need to fix that. So now we can control the Kelvin scale of all the lights that are currently on. So, but right now during the video, I want it to be as wide as possible. Let's see if we can go up now. No, we can't. I need to fix that. Okay, let's move on. That's the first page, and as you can see, the main functionality of this panel is control of lights. But as another bonus feature, I thought, one thing that have changed during the recent years is that we have a lot more speakers. We have like a lot of people have a speaker in each room. So I thought, it would be nice to be able to control the speaker settings easily from this panel as well. So I have a switch here where you can toggle from all light settings. So if you press that one, you switch to the sound setting instead, where you get the opportunity to control the speaker in the room that you're currently in. So this is the kitchen speaker, and you can hear that going up. And this one is control of all the speakers in the entire apartment. So changing that one will have an effect on all the speakers in the apartment. I use this cube to zeroize the volume. Okay, switching back to the all light settings. Another thing that I've always been thinking about when I've been dreaming about my dream wall switch is the possibility to control lights in another room that you're currently in. So with the kitchen wall switch, for example, I want the opportunity to change rooms and control things in other rooms as well. So just looking at that, we can change the room right down here. So pressing this button changes the room. So as you can see, the icons updates to the states that the lights in that room are currently in. So the ceiling lights are not on in living room, for example. I don't have ceiling lights in the living room, so pressing that doesn't work. It looks like that just okay, but I have table lights in the living room, so that works. Okay, switching to the next room, bedroom. This is the state the bedroom is in. Entryway, I don't have any table lights there, so it doesn't work. Okay. Bathroom, nothing's on there. We can turn them on. And back to kitchen. That's great. I love that. Changing rooms, the room text changes and the symbols are updated. The icons are updated to the states that the lights in that room are currently in. That's amazing. I love that. And it's a bit of code behind that as well. So every time you press the button, it needs to update the state. So it takes a bit of code to do that, but it works really good, and we'll talk about that later. Talking about rooms, one thing that was important to me was that I wanted to create one code, one YAML file that I could use on all displays. So it would be easy to update, for example, and not a new design for each room. I want the exact same design and code on all displays. There's only one thing that is different between the panels depending on which room they're in, and it's a string variable that tells which room this panel is placed in. So we can look at that here. So in this YAML file, that variable string is named kitchen. And for the living room panel, for example, that variable will be called living room, and therefore this would be the start page for that panel. So that's the only thing that is different between the panels. Very nice, I would say, yes. One good thing that comes with having the exact same design, exact same code on all the displays is it's easy for new users to understand how it works and what to do with the display. A bit like the old wall switch. You knew that you could control ceiling lights. Now you know that you can control ceiling lights and table lights and global lights and speakers and much more. I think it's a pretty easy design to understand as a new user. I would like to do some kind of test. I would like to just knock on my neighbor's door. I've never met them. Just ask them, hello, would you like to come by? I'm shooting a video. I would like you to test my my dream wall switch, just to see how they would react the first time they looked at it without knowing anything about it. I think I'm gonna do that. We'll see. Okay. Continuing here with some small features. So obviously dimming is a new upgraded feature from the old wall switches that I have that were just on and off. So that's just a bonus. But as you can see now, the circadian rhythm has kicked in, and therefore it's not an even number. And that's kind of, I don't really like that. So when you're changing from an uneven number, I've fixed that so it always runs up and down. So we can just test that. You can put that up, goes to 100, and then it's just even tenths. And this one, press that down, it goes to 90, and then it's even tenths. The exact same here. Boom. And we could actually go, let's go to the bottom, and I'll show you what happens in the bottom. So we're at 10 now. I think it's nice to be able to go below 10 on some lights, so I've added that feature. So pressing when you're at 10, it goes to 5. You can't turn them off by pressing down, you have to turn them off by pressing like that. That's just the way I did it, and I think I like it. So let's go up again to 100 for the movie. So there's some small rounding features that's in the code. We'll look at that later. We're getting into the cool parts now. So another dream that I've had is to be able to control more than just lights with the panels. I want to be able to control all the smart things in the entire apartment from all switches. All right. Pressing kitchen will enter the kitchen and present all the smart items in that room. Go back, switch rooms, go into living room, and we get the smart things in that room instead. We can also switch rooms up here. So it goes a bit faster if you just want to look at the things that are in the rooms. Curtains, an old TV, nothing there, nothing in the bathroom, and we're back to kitchen. As you can see, we have a vacuum cleaner button here, so if we press that, the vacuum cleaner will start cleaning that room that we were in. So kitchen, clean the kitchen. Google, docka dammsugare. Another feature, sleep mode or screensaver. I think the panel should not be on all the time, so after like 30 seconds they go to sleep mode, they dim down to black, and they also return to the main page, and the room changes. So if you look at that one, it went down to sleep mode, it was in bedroom, pressing, we're in kitchen, and the icons are updated. That's another user thing. I think that every time you use a panel, you should know that when you press it, you have the possibility to control the lights that are in that room, and it shouldn't be left on a page that someone used an hour ago. So you have to like, oh man, I just want to control the ceiling lights, and now I'm in the kitchen or something. Then your family will get annoyed. So yeah, you should know what to expect. Okay, now we're at one of my favorite features that I've made. So we haven't talked about the physical buttons yet, these ones. So what do? They do exactly the same thing as our old wall switches. They kill the lights. They switch off a relay that is in the panel, and it kills the power to the ceiling lights. What are they good for? I think they're good for backup. I like that they exist, but mainly they should not be used. So that's something that you have to agree on in your family, that we don't use these buttons, they're only for backup. And I think the family or your friends will agree to that if you have a good design. If you don't have like current weather or something, then it's not an issue. Just don't use the buttons, but they're good in backup. So if the home automation server goes down or something and you can't control the lights, it's nice that you can kill them, press again, and then you will get the lights working. But the difference now with this wall switch is that we know if someone has pressed the switch, because it kills the relay, and ESPHome knows that the relay is off. So then we can show that to the user on the display. So look at this. Okay, so we're in the kitchen and you just have to pretend that there is 2 ceiling lights connected here in the back, which it would be if we would have replaced the old wall switch and put this into the wall. So pressing this one would kill the ceiling light in that room, one of them. So I'm doing that now, pressing it. Ooh, then you get a symbol telling the user that the power to one of the ceiling lights is off. Pressing again. Okay, the power is on. The ceiling light would have turned on if we did that. So pressing this one, pressing this one, pressing that one. Okay, this is still off. So the symbol is off as soon as one of the relays are off. Okay, so what happens? Do you think we can press that symbol as well? Okay. What? That's amazing. That's amazing. Okay, so the user can see that someone has used the physical button, but it's not a problem because I know it, I can see it, and I just touch that button and it's on again. Oh, I double touched. So, okay. Yeah, that's really good. I love the little time bar as well. It's just for the ceiling light to get some time to connect to the Zigbee network again. That's the thought of it. Okay. Yeah, oh man. Yeah, I just love this. Wow, I can sit all day just doing this. Whoop. Okay. Last feature is what I call dynamic events, and I love the dynamic events. I might love them more than the physical button switch thing. What are dynamic events? It's when something is happening in your smart home and that triggers an event on the NSPanel. So it brings up a button, it changes the page or something. I will give you a couple of examples, okay? Look at this, look at this. This is the first one. This is my doorbell. Someone presses the doorbell from a black screen. It goes out of sleep mode and we get a unlock button. All right, pressing this one will open the door or open the lock. Unlock the door. Cool, that's one event. Next one, coffee brew. So this is my prepare for coffee brew button. Pressing that one gives us...
Coffee brewer is prepared for the next brew. Standard cups is set to 4.
The coffee menu. So it enables us to change how many cups we want. Then press coffee and then it will make that many cups of coffee. Alright. Last dynamic event is the alarm page. So someone comes home and needs to deactivate alarm. You get the alarm page on the NSPanel. Boom! You press the alarm code.
Wrong code. Get yourself together.
Okay, so the right code is 1, 2, 3, and 4. If you enter the correct code,
system inactivated.
You get back to the main page. Yeah, that's about it. That's all the features that I wanted to show you. I think we could just check out I have the settings page here as well. You can reach the alarm there and you upload the TFT files by pressing that button. That's basically it. I mean, it's not that different from the first video, but it's a lot more complete. It's an updated design and everything works and it's scalable. In the last video, I didn't know if it was scalable, but it's scalable and you can do more than this. That's it. That was the first episode inspirational episode. It feels like I've been sitting here. I know I've been sitting here for like a day. I hope I can make this episode not that long. Just wanted to show you what is possible right now, what you can do with the NSPanel and ESPHome, so you know what to expect in the coming episodes, which will be more tutorial-like. I will walk you through all the files included in this project. I've uploaded all the files on GitHub. We'll look at the code and see how things are done. The YAML file, TFT file, next-gen editor, some flashing tips, MQTT, all that good stuff in like a tutorial-like video. So yeah, see you then. Bye.